Welcome to our first webinar, live with Kayla, the ad content strategist at Adore Me. Adore Me is a lingerie brand. It's one of Victoria's Secret brands, and Kayla started her journey in a degree in communications from Elon University. And soon after, she found herself at Adore Me as a marketing associate. And then they come all the way into doing ad content strategy. She does everything from creating briefs for influencers, thinking of new creative ideas to run ads, shooting content, editing content, and generating ads on Caimera. Welcome, Kayla.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to talk about everything with you guys. Just want to say I absolutely love Caimera. It's one of my favorite tools to use, and it's something I just think is so special and that I really just want to tell everyone about. So really excited to be here.
Well, great. I actually wanted to flash this up first for everyone to see, because I think it's one of the most powerful visuals, and Kayla has generated so many such ads which have resulted in higher conversion rates, lower cost per acquisition. And I want to talk about the one on the left. It is a hard one to achieve, where you've been able to merge a woman in scrubs with a woman in lingerie. And I'm sure it began with ideation. It began with maybe some of our customers will relate with this. And then on the right, you have an older woman, and you've mixed it with real content, and talk more about that. But I think the first question I want to ask you is that it is hard to convince your team to use AI. How did you do this? How did you convince everyone to come on this journey with you?
Yeah, great question. So I think I should start off by saying that I also was very skeptical of AI, very much worried that I wouldn't know how to use it in a way that can be beneficial for us and that can also be ethical in a sense. So that was another thing that was very much in the forefront of people at the company, their thoughts of how we can use AI in a way that makes it so that we're supplementing our content instead of replacing people. So I want to give a huge shout out to my boss, Evan. She was a big proponent of us utilizing Caimera. She really pushed me to start thinking about how to use AI in a way that can really help us and be really beneficial to us as a company. Adore Me in general is very much innovative. We like to be scrappy. We like to be on the forefront of new ideas and new technologies. And she knew that using AI was something that would be really important for us in the future, and that could put us on the forefront of what we do in our creatives, in our ads. So huge shout out to Evan. And I think during this process with using Caimera, I have seen how AI can be used in a great way to help supplement our content. So it's not taking away our creative ideas, it's just helping us be able to create things without the tools that that would be costly or that would take more time. And I was able to just explain that to people that in the company that we're using AI to help with things that we aren't able to do otherwise. So for example, reaching new audiences. We have a lot of older women demographic, and a lot of the influencers that we use are not in that demographic. So we wanted to be able to use AI to show women who are in our target audience that they can wear our products and it's made for them. So it was just us able to see that we have this audience that we want to reach, and it's difficult outside of AI to reach that.
Super interesting. I think that One of the things that always comes to mind is when you're choosing a tool, you're looking at many, many things. You're looking at product accuracy, you're looking at functionality, ease of use. I'm sure you tried many, many tools before Chimera. Which ones did you try? And then why did you choose Chimera?
Yeah, so some of the tools we use, Runway, Creatify, Hagen. We also use Kira, which is a French company. And all of them had different abilities, but none of them fit exactly what we wanted to do, which is be able to have creatives that show our product and that looks realistic. And Chimera was the only one that can do everything that we were looking for. Um, and also have the video feature. That's one really unique feature of Chimera, is that we can have video of our products as well.
Sure. Um, well, tell me, your products are complicated, right? It's lace, it's hard to generate. And I have some images that you've created up here. Uh, how do you choose what products to shoot in AI and what products to shoot in real life? And how do you deal with lace in Chimera?
Yeah, so I think Chimera is one of the best. Like I said, we've used a lot of different tools in the past,
Yeah.
but Chimera is the best with product accuracy. There's so many updates on the platform every day to make sure that we can have the most accurate product. So that's one thing that works really well for us. But if we're not able to get a product super accurate, we can still use resources like our in-touching or retouching in-house. We also try to choose garments that are a bit simpler in design, so not too much lace and not too much pattern for the most part. And then also the fact that we have the ability to use video, and that kind of helps hide the inconsistencies in the product, so it's not super noticeable. But Chimera is by far the best platform we use for product because it has the best accuracy that we've seen.
So, do you generate all of these videos by yourself?
Yes, so I talk with my team and we come up with ideas that we want to test. So, for example, we wanted to test older women in our ads. We wanted to test couples. So I take that information from our team of who we want to target and think of the visuals of what we want. And I go look at past creatives that performed well for us. And then I also look at Pinterest and Instagram for ideas and inspiration on what kind of creative that we want to try. Um, so it's a process, and it's mainly me ideating and creating these, but it's super easy. Chimera's made it so plug and play pretty much that it doesn't feel like a huge skill set. It just seems like something that is really easy to do now.
Yeah. And how long would it take you to produce a reel or an ad like this on Chimera?
So I would say for like a 20-minute or 20-second video, maybe an hour at most, just getting all of the images that we want for the video and then inputting them into Chimera's video creation. But when it comes to like just straight images, it takes less than 15 minutes for that.
You've always talked about supplementing and mixing real content with AI content, and we can see here, you've blended the two so beautifully. How did you think of this? Does it make your reels more real, more believable? Um, Tell
Yeah.
us more about.
Yeah, so as we said, we've been using Chimera in a way to help supplement our influencer creative and UGC content that we see works really well for us in ads. So we wanted to create content with Chimera that looks like UGC, that looks like a real person. But we know that there are things that people can notice about AI, just to notice that it's not real like a real person. So we thought to intercut videos of real videos that we've shot in-house with the AI in the beginning, so it looks a bit more realistic and it looks more consistent for our ads.
And you mentioned that, a couple of people on TikTok could recognize that it's AI, but on Meta, no one could recognize that it is AI. I I think there could be so many reasons for that. But have you faced any backlash? Have you had to deal with that? Or has it been pretty organic and consumers understand that AI is all around us?
Yeah, I think for the most part, like you said, Meta has been great in that we haven't gotten any backlash on Meta for our use of AI. I think it's because we're able to, because of the audience on Meta and because we're able to cut in real footage so it looks more realistic. I think the audience on TikTok is a little bit more conscious of AI and a little bit more sensitive to it. So we have gotten a bit of flack on TikTok, but Meta is our main driver of conversions, is our main source of spend. So that's what really matters. So we just pivoted to using these ads on Meta specifically.
Let's talk numbers, because what is AI and its impact, and why would you even use it? It's not resulting in value for you, right? Um, Tell us a little bit about AI ads versus normal ads. How are AI ads performing better?
Yeah, so like I said before, we've been able to use Caimera to target a specific demographic that we weren't able to do with our usual influencer content because we can create these beautiful, elevated, and aspirational older women who are wearing our products. And then we can also have couples where it's usually harder to get that kind of content from real influencers. So we've seen really good success on Meta specifically. At one point, we had nearly 10% of our spend going towards these AI ads that we've made with Caimera. And then we also saw a lower CPA on our AP or on our Caimera ads versus our business as usual ads. So it really showed that we were able to really benefit from using AI because we were able to target specific people that we weren't um, catering to with our usual non-AI ads.
That is amazing. And honestly, the image that I'm sharing on screen, um, I haven't seen such a beautiful shot. I haven't been able to create one on camera. So you've really championed it, used it, learned it. And I think what's important is the strategy of the image. If you have a vision, you can create that image. If you are not sure of what you want to create, it'll go all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about the image on the right. What was your thinking, workflow? How did you go about it?
Are you talking about the couple image?
Not the one, the older woman.
The older woman, yes. So we we had several meetings with our about our customer and who we wanted to target, and we know that our customers are mainly women in their late 30s and 40s who are in the Midwest, who aren't super interested in influencers and like the younger generation. They're more so interested in their life as maybe busy moms or teachers, but they also want to feel put together and feel sexy. And so we took all of these insights from our customers to try to create a visual representation of what we think would fit what they would like to see on their social media feed. So we thought of just having a visibly older woman wearing the product and looking confident. She looks aspirational. She looks like um, very serene and in love with herself. And that's what we wanted to kind of create for our ads. So I generated a bunch of different images and tweaked the prompts so we can get this image here. Yeah, and love how it came out.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about how AI is not perfect. and it's moving really fast. Prateek, my co-founder, who's been working on the technology, tells me that another few months and we will have 100% product accuracy. But you're working with a very complicated garment like lace. Obviously, there are issues with fingernails and sometimes like feet and toes. How do you not sweat the small stuff? Because you're looking at the bigger vision and the use of that image. And because if you zoom into an AI image, you will find hundreds of defects, right? How do you look beyond that?
I think that's one thing with Chimera is that in my experience, is one of the most accurate and realistic looking platforms that we've used. So we have less of those inaccuracies that I think in other platforms. Chimera is really good in not really doing the extra fingers, extra limbs kind of thing, and also making it look really realistic. Also, the fact that Chimera has a very good in-platform editing tool, so we can easily like just edit certain parts of the image that don't look right, or erase certain images, makes it super easy. But also, there's still going to be some product inaccuracies, like with the lace and the patterns. But for the most part, we know that people are looking at these on their phones. They're just scrolling. They're not really zooming in or like paying super close attention to the background or like the people's fingers. So we've been able to understand that trade-off and not have to worry about that as much, especially since we're focusing on Meta and our audience on Meta doesn't seem to be as sensitive to AI.
It's come a long way, right? I remember Jan 24 to August 25, right? AI has come a really, really long way. And a lot of us were betting, will it not, right? Is this the best that it will get? Did you think that Chimera would come this far?
I did think so because I thought even from back to last year when we first started using it that it was miles ahead of everything else we've ever tried. And then I just know by talking to you guys and seeing how much work you put into always updating and making small changes to make the platform better, I knew that it would be at this point where it is today, which I think is one of the best AI platforms that I've ever used. So yeah, I think AI in general is just constantly changing, it's constantly updating, and I think you guys are really good at being on the forefront of making sure that Chimera is there with those updates.
So I want to talk about the workshop you did, right? And that ensured wide adoption within the company. I think you had 40 people at that session. Tell us a little bit more about that. It is a great way to ensure adoption at a large scale within a company.
Yeah, so like I said in previously, there were a lot of people skeptical about AI within my company itself. So this was something that people were really intrigued with and wanted to learn more about because they wanted to see why we were using it. So basically, at Adore.me, we have these sessions called Knowledge Nuggets where someone in the company will present something they're working on or something they're really passionate about to other people in the company. And it's either 30 minutes to an hour. So this knowledge nugget in particular was one of the most attended knowledge nuggets that we've had at the company. A lot of people were very interested, very intrigued in what AI could look like for Adore.me. But we got everyone to be in the workshop. We explained how we're using AI content to supplement our content instead of replace. So because we are creating images of older women, couples, people who are much harder to find for UGC content and influencer content, that was something that people really responded to, that we're using it to help add and not to take away from other people's opportunities. And also the fact that during the workshop, we were able to have everyone generate their own images. It was very hands-on, very interactive, and people really enjoyed being able to do that. And in general, they were all very impressed with Caimera's realism and how integral the process is to what we do on the acquisition team here at Adore.me. So I think overall it was very much a success. People were really excited after the fact and really even more interested in what we can do with AI.
Yeah, some people were mind blown, right? They were like, wow. And
Mhm.
it's really nice of you to not gatekeep technology or, things that are there and amazing for everyone's future. Um, I want to ask, was there something that took a lot of time and effort before Chimera, and now you could just do it in a few hours?
Yes. Um, so I will give you one example. About 2 years ago, there was this huge trend on social media where this company would create really like larger than life, oversized products in real life situations. For example, like having someone's product on the Empire State Building in New York. And it was very big on social media. A lot of companies were using it, a lot of big companies like Coca-Cola, Skims, Sol de Janeiro. So it was very big at that point, and we wanted to hop on that trend as well. So we worked with an agency to create a visual of one of our top selling bras on a float in New York City and have it just be a huge float going through the streets of New York City, which is a fun concept. But back 2 years ago, that we paid the agency a lot of money, about 10K for a 10-second video of this float wearing our bra going down the New York street. Um, and we waited to have the final asset for about 2 weeks. So it was a 2 week long process just to get the 10-second video. And now that's just something that we can easily create in Caimera in less than 10 minutes. And for a fraction of the price as well. So that was one big thing, just looking back on that and how much work went into that and how much money went into that. And now we can easily do it with Caimera for way less time, way less money. Yeah, and then also just finding influencers that we wanted to fit within our exact demographic that we were looking for. That was super difficult for us because like older women for the most part aren't comfortable wearing lingerie on camera, aren't comfortable promoting lingerie, and we're a lingerie company. So it was hard to find people in that demographic who are willing to be on camera and promote our product. So Caimera made it so much easier for us to just create an influencer of our own that looks like who we wanted to target and wore the product and sold it as well and led to conversions. And it was just much less expensive than hiring an influencer for maybe 2K a month for 2 videos versus using Caimera for way less money and way less time and way less hassle and negotiation. So Caimera has made those processes really much easier than before.
And you also mentioned that if something is successful in the ad, it's often difficult to do it again with another influencer. For example, a couple's shot was successful in an ad, but how do you keep asking other influencers to create the exact same thing? But you can do it in AI.
Exactly, yeah. So the fact that we're able to just iterate as much as we want and not have to worry about finding different people who are able to do the same exact thing that we want is so much easier, so much faster. Yeah, so for example, that couple video that we had a top performing video that looked similar to that. And we didn't want, we didn't have the time to reach out to many other couple influencers to find couple influencers who are willing to wear lingerie and promote our product too. So just being able to redo that with Caimera was so easy and such a lifesaver for us just testing our creatives.
We should get into Q&A. I'm excited to introduce you to some lovely users here. Um, Does anyone have a question? Please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Hi, Nikki. Do you want to go? Yeah, you can unmute
Hi.
you. Hi.
Yeah, really great presentation. Like, really good to know the technology around it. I just wanted to know what the sort of, I guess, policies are around it. Like, do you need to claim or mention that this is AI generated in terms of when you put it on your website and or on social media, that sort of thing? Because I've seen a bit of both. Like, some people will say it's AI generated and some people won't, and it's clearly AI generated.
Yeah, so policy-wise, we are not really required. It is an option to disclose that, which is why we try to make the AI look as realistic as possible, so it does look realistic, and it's not something that we tend to disclose on our in our ads.
I feel like it defeats the purpose because then nobody sees the image, they see the tag.
Yeah.
Right? That it just defeats the purpose of doing marketing. And obviously, what you could do is make a broader statement as a brand that we are open to technology, we're open to AI, as opposed to on every image, go there and like write text. How, like, I hate to watermark images, right? Because it loses its beauty.
Yeah.
And so I think it's better to make a statement as a whole.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.